Hi, I'm June Kelly and welcome to today's Makeup Masterclass. Today we are going to create a beautiful soft look for Yvonne, who is one of our more mature models, and we're going to create something that helps radiance, beauty, soft focus. I think it's really important as you tend to mature in age, we all do, is to change your makeup wardrobe, make sure that you have the right products, so not to get stuck in the past, not to get stuck with 80s blue eyeliner. Keep it really soft. I think it's really important to use products like Illuminator, which I'm going to use in a second, and soft eyeshadows, nothing too harsh, and I think blending is really important. And just keeping it really fresh and fun. I think a strong lip can be really, really beautiful on a more mature lady because I think it gives a focus. It looks great with a strong outfit. So we're going to start. I'm going to start off with Illuminator. Illuminator is my absolute go-to product. Now, again, I use a lot of products on the back of my hand first. I use my hand as a palette so I can see. And I do this when I do my own makeup as well, because you can kind of see the color, you can see how much you're going to use. Now, I'm going to work this under Yvonne's eyes. I've done the base, I've done my concealer, and I've powdered very lightly. So we'll keep the powder to a minimum on more mature skin. And straight away, I think you'll start to see, it just gives such a beautiful radiance. It's not sparkly, it's not shiny, it's just radiant. And I think as we get a little bit more mature, I don't know, it doesn't matter what age you are, I think we all worry about our under eyes, our lines. How can we make sure that they don't look too dry? And Illuminator is one of the ways of doing that. Now, I'm gonna work that all the way up onto the brow bone. Now I'm gonna over to the other eye, and I use the same technique as I did when I applied concealer. This dabbing motion, never swooping, it just doesn't work. All you do is you move the product around the face. You'll see this finish a lot on the red carpet. You'll see it a lot on magazine shoots in Vogue, where they get that beautiful sheen on a model. And this transcends through any age. You can be any age to have this gorgeous contouring shine. And sometimes a little bit on the top of the Cupid's bow. So there we go, just you can see straight away. It's light, it's fresh, and when you photograph that or when you're out in the sunshine, it just gives a beautiful radiance. Now, next up, I'm going to use an eye primer. An eye primer for me is an absolute must. I would never apply eyeshadow without eye primer, fact. It just gives you a base, it covers up any redness. I'm going to show you one eye and then the other. But the main thing it actually does is it helps the eyeshadow not to crease. So therefore, you put your eyeshadow on in the morning or in the evening when you're going out, and then when you're out, it still stays perfectly smooth, it's not creased. And if anything, it just gives actually a depth to the eye. So like the concealer, what it highlights because it's light. So you can see the difference even straight away. It's just lighter, so therefore it's more prominent and it gives a brighter effect. I think as well, as we get a little bit more mature, all our skin is just a little bit more soft. So we have to be very careful of it creasing. And eye primers are an amazing way to stop eyeshadow from creasing. I think as well, if you use your finger, you tend not to put so much on, plus you don't get any brush strokes either, you just get a nice soft patted motion or print on the eyelid. So there we go, that's it, that's your base. I'm gonna move on to the eyeshadows now. When you're trying to apply an eyeshadow as an older lady or a more mature lady, I think pick something that reflects your skin tone, your wardrobe, your own style. So if you like to wear darker clothes, you sometimes can wear something maybe a little bit more smoky. But if you like to wear light clothes, like creams and light tones, pinks, baby pink, don't wear anything too heavy. It will just look too heavy in contrast. And if you have a light coloured hair as well, it'll look too heavy. I'm going to use an eyeshadow brush. So I'm going to start off with a light coloured eyeshadow. And I'm simply, you can see a technique I'm actually doing is, I'm actually lifting the top of the brow slightly. So you can see when I don't do it, it drops down and it creates a little crease. So what I do is I lift the top of the brow simply very gently and it creates a soft palette for me. So everything's nice and smooth. I don't have to worry about any lines. And again, you can see, again, with the patting motion, not with the swooping. We'll do that when we're going to contour in the socket. So simply apply a small amount of eyeshadow. You can see that straight away, just very light. I always work from eye to eye, simply because if you create one eye perfectly, you get a little bit anxious that you're not going to be able to do it again and it's not going to look as good. So back over to the other eye. And I've done the same technique. So thumb, finger, anything on top of the brow and lift slightly. And I always do a little trick. I tell my clients to lift their chin up, look down to the floor, and then lift the brow. So I always say chin up, look down, and then apply. Because you're creating a soft and straight finish on the eyelid. So therefore, no wrinkles, nothing's going to be caught. So that's our base. I'm going to move on next. I'm going to use a socket brush and I'm going to work it into the socket area. I'm using soft tones on Yvonne because she has a lovely soft complexion, beautiful silver hair. So I just want it all really, really pretty and girly. And we're going for a daytime look today. So I don't want anything too heavy. And how I've applied this, I've gone into the corner of the socket line with my socket brush. This is an absolute must in every lady's handbag or makeup bag, a socket brush. So it's a blender brush, socket brush. Again, lifting the eyebrow, placing it on the corner, and small rotations. Never this. We need to get out of the habit of that. Lifting the brow, looking down, placing it into the corner, and small. And if you're worried where your socket is, you can actually have a little feel around. That's your socket. So that's the top of the eyeball, for want of a better term, but the top of the eyeball. Now, and we can see straight away, just a really, really soft, see, it just creeps up onto the socket line. And then I'm going to stop there and I'm going to go over to the other eyelid, lifting the brow into the socket line and small rotations. This technique transforms either a dark makeup look or a light one. It's the same technique. So whether this is a darker eyeshadow or a lighter eyeshadow, this placing the brow up, placing the brush in the corner of the socket line and rotating is giving you the same blended effect. And you see, you can just add as you go. If I put too much on one eye, it's going to get too heavy. So I'm going to work from eye to eye and make sure I have the right levels. So that's another little handy tip. So blend as you go, making sure everything is even from side to side. Now, we have that finished. I'm going to move on and I'm going to use two different eyeliners. This creates, again, depth of the eye. So you can put I'm going to put a light copper on the top of the eye and then I'm going to put a soft grey on the bottom. And it's different as well. So you can change your eye colours around. You can use different eye pencils. I'm using a kohl because I want it to be nice and soft. I find liquid liners on more mature skin can tend to look a little bit harsh, a bit dated. I think a nice soft pencil is really makes the eye look blended rather than a heavy liner. Again, we're moving from eye to eye here again. So you can see I've always started on the outsides of the eyes. So again, working your way inwards. And this, you don't have to be an expert at applying this because it's not so perfect. It's not like a liquid line. And I just think it gives a lovely finish. It looks so pretty. And you can even, if you want, simply blend it with your fingers as well or a little brush. This liner is foolproof. So we like foolproof liner. So that's the top liner. A little trick I'll show you with liner as well on the top on kind of more mature skin is, if you look down, open your eyes, look down to the floor, lift the lid slightly and tickle along the inside. I know it looks a little bit scary, but trust me, it really gives such a great effect. It makes the eyes pop and I just love it. It's such a great technique. I learned it years ago. I use it on everyone and every time I do it, they say, oh, it's so pretty and it's so simple, which I love. Now, we're going to move on to the grey. And we're just going to pop a little bit of the grey underneath, which takes, look up for me, and takes 2 seconds. Keeping it all along the bottom. And you can use a different color depending on your outfit as well. Next, we're gonna move on to the lips. Now, because we have such a nice soft look on Yvonne, I wanted to use something that's a little bit more colorful on the lip. Now, I'm using a lip brush simply because for me to apply, it's a little bit easier with a brush, but you can just use your lipstick. Now, you can use a lip pencil if you like, if that's something that you normally do. It's not something you always have to do. But by using a brush, you can also actually create the lip with the brush. So you're actually essentially creating a lip liner with the product already. So that's a nice little tip. So by using a lip brush, you can create the actual shape of the lip. And this is just a soft daytime look on Yvonne, something that she can wear, maybe playing golf, going for dinner with the girls or lunch. And here we go. And if you spin around there for me, and there we go. Just very soft, very girly, no matter what age.